So I've always been into money, whether that be investing, building businesses, trading. I've had a go at pretty much everything, but the single best thing I ever did for myself was started investing in a stocks and shares ISA in my early to mid 20s. This has enabled me to take massive risks, start businesses, support my family, and just not ever be scared in the face of opportunity. The thing is, if you have looming finances over your head, you are always on the back foot. You are never pushing forward and able to truly do what you want or take control of your time, your life, or the things you want to do. Now, before you click away and think, I'm too old, I'm too late, he started back when he was in his mid-20s, just remember, the Colonel started KFC when he was in his 60s. There is so many successful people out there that started extremely late in life. And remember, late is relative. It really doesn't matter when you start. It's relative to where you are right now. So if you're 40, it's totally fine to start. If you're 50, if you're 60, it does not matter. The point here is to start as early as you can, even if that is right now. So we're going to quickly go through the 3 times in my life that it has had the biggest impact. And some of these are extremely personal, so do stick around. I really think that they'll help you get started and motivate you as to why I'm so passionate about people getting going on this. The first one is starting a business. The amount of people I talk to on a daily basis who want to start a business, they have the hunger for it, they have the idea, they have the passion, but they are locked into their financial situation. So that could be because they've got responsibilities, maybe they have kids and a mortgage and a family, maybe they're just young and they're not sort of feel like they're in a strong position to take the leap. Whatever it is, I felt that same thing. I was in that same position. Now, I've run my own businesses from a very young age, but there was a period in my early to mid 20s where I sort of got trapped in a family business. And it was great. I learned a lot. It was good. It was a good experience, right? But I got comfortable. I got used to that wage. The work was pretty easy and the business was growing. And it took so much for me to break out of that because I was so used to that income. And I knew whatever I did business-wise, I was not going to be able to replace that straight away. Luckily for me, I started investing. I started loading up my ISA as much as possible, and that was very minimal in the early days. I'm talking hundreds of pounds a year, not thousands, and eventually built it up to, like trying to put in the maximum. And that money, that nest egg, because I saw it grow, it was just really simple. S&P 500 and I think one other fund, maybe like a world index at the time. And because I had that, I knew I lived so frugally at the time that really, even with our mortgage, we only needed maybe 20 grand a year would be like plenty and we could survive fine. So Megan had a job at the time. And I was like, well, with the amount of money I've got saved in here now, it's invested, it's growing, I can live for 2 years on this. I was like, I've got 2 years of runway here to try and do this business idea. If it was not for that money invested and having that nest egg, having that savings, I never, ever would have been able to take the jump into, even though that family business was my business, I was obviously a shareholder and I owned part of the company, to going off and doing my own thing. I wouldn't have been able to take the risk, And that was the first lever in life where I realized that little pot of money, little being relative terms, it was little compared to now, but at the time it was probably 20 grand or something, and it gave me the confidence to go and do my own thing, which ultimately has now resulted in me running companies that do nearly £3 million a year, and I never would have done that had it not been for just getting going on that portion of money. So the second one is providing for your family. So whether you're someone who wants kids or wants a family, you probably have a family, right? So you have parents and people around you. And I think for me, I'm a real provider and a real founder of my family. I really want to be someone who can support people and inspire and encourage. But on an even more personal note, It comes down to my role as a dad, as a father. Now, a few years ago, my little girl, Isabella, was diagnosed with brain cancer at 2 years old. Now, I remember saying at the time to Megan, when we were in some of her treatment, there was kids in the proton beam clinic in London. We were underground for radiotherapy every single day. She was having general anesthetic. And there was parents in there where there would be kids having radiotherapy in the morning, chemo in the afternoon. And there's one parent there. And there was one person who stuck out to me, right? She was pregnant and she was there on her own. And it was because her husband had to work to keep things together, to keep the money coming in, to make ends meet. And I just thought, fucking hell, that is so hard. Like, imagine that, doing that alone. And at the time, this sounds crazy, right? Because I got a 2-year-old girl with cancer. I couldn't have felt more grateful. I was just like, I'm so thankful that for whatever reason, my brain was wired in a way that I saved, invested, built that money up. Because by that time, it was a big pot of money and I was doing well financially, that I could afford to say, right, let's go. Yeah, we'll move up to London. No, I'll chill out and work. The guys will take care of it. They can run the business. Like, don't worry about money. It's not a problem. Like, no, we don't have to get the bus every morning, 45 minutes across London. We can get an Uber most days because I can afford it. Like, we managed to make our lives so much easier in that situation. And we also did a lot to try and support other families as well, and did raise a lot for charity at the time, just because I just felt so fortunate and so grateful and blessed that we were in a situation where we could support ourselves as a family unit to get through what was the hardest time of our lives. And I really felt for the people that were not in there, which is the second reason I'm so passionate about people starting this, because I just think as a dad, you have a responsibility to provide and support. And when I married Megan, I said that I would be there. When we had kids, I swore to all of my kids when they were born that they would just never have to worry about anything. I'm always there. They've always got dad. And being able to actually say that and then fulfill it is down to the decisions you make when it comes to your finances, your responsibility, how you save money, how you invest money, how are you actually building up these defenses for your family to protect them, to look after them, and to make sure you're doing right by everyone who is close to you. And thirdly, a little bit more lighthearted, is not ever being scared in the face of opportunity. So the same people who I often talk to who have these great business ideas, but they don't have the balls to leave their job, or they're not in a financial position of comfort to be able to get out of it and do it. They are blind to the opportunity they have in front of them. People that are financially restricted or stuck, or they're hinged on this income or this job, do not see the opportunity in the world. It's where things start to split and you get people who just think everything's against them. There's no way out. There's no opportunities. There's nothing to help me. I'm stuck. Woe is me. And on the other direction, people go, holy shit, everywhere I look, there's opportunity. Like, I could do this, I could do that. And people will say it's lucky. People will say it's whatever. You make your own luck, and you make your own luck by being in the right place at the right time. And you can't be in the right place at the right time if you're on somebody else's timetable. Having that money invested, having that early start in life, and that could be any age, is absolutely critical to being able to seize opportunities. And I see this so much now I've got money, now I've sort of made it financially, whatever the hell that means. These things just come at me on a daily basis that I guarantee you, a lot of them were probably there before, but now I have the headspace and the time to look at them and reflect and think, that is a good opportunity. Yeah, I should follow that. Or, nah, that's terrible. I know nothing about that. Let's avoid that one. And having that backing, having that financial stability, it's almost like an armchair just to sit back in and be like, okay, let me assess. What can I do? What should I do? It gives you just this, like, time to breathe, time to like just chill out, think, not be under this constant pressure. So that's it. I mean, literally, look, number one, being able to start a business, I think is huge for everybody, especially if you're watching this video, right? I get it. Obviously, having a job is amazing for a massive proportion of the population. I have an amazing team of people who work for me and they absolutely love working at the business, but it's not for me, right? And having a job is absolutely for some people, but if you're watching this, you're probably not that person. So being able to start a business is very, very helpful if you just have that little financial backing to just be able to cover yourself for a year so you can give it a go and get it off the ground. Secondly, being able to support your family, being able to provide, being able to do all of that stuff that you should be taking care of as a man. And number three is being able to seize opportunities. So they are the three biggest things that I've noticed in my life that starting, investing, and saving early has really enabled me to do. Dude, I can't stress this anymore. Just frickin' start. It doesn't take a lot. Open a stocks and shares ISA. Everybody offers them. Just put 100 quid in. Just put 50 quid in. It doesn't matter. And next time you get paid, put another 100 quid in. And guess what? If you do it as soon as you get paid, you can't spend that money then. So you will figure out a way to survive that month and then do it again the next month and the next month and the next month and try and scale it up. And then when you get a pay rise, don't piss it up the wall. Put the extra pay rise money in there and you will look back in 5 years and you'll be like, oh my God, look how much we've got saved and invested because the compound interest is layered up as well. We're actually making money. Holy shit, I made like $2,000 completely passively this year just from my investments. And your mind will just open up. You'll be like, right, the world is mine now. I get it. I get the game. This is how I just need to scale this now. Keep going. All of a sudden, that 10x's. You can think about starting a business. You've got an idea. You can take the risk. You can make the jump. It's just how it all starts, man. It all starts with that one little step, just getting that money in that stocks and shares ISA. Start on the path. I hope that's helped. I'll see you in the next one.